A quiet town, a secret war, then chaos. Dozens of Hells Angels stormed a rival clubhouse in Maitland, New South Wales. This wasn't just a fight, it was a takeover. The target, the Gladiators, the state's oldest bikie club, who had held this clubhouse at Horseshoe Bend for over 30 years. In one night, their stronghold was lost. Why here? Why now? This isn't just another gang clash. It's a power shift that could completely reshape the Hunter Valley's underworld. And what happened inside that clubhouse was only the beginning. In this video, we'll reveal what really happened in Maitland when the Hells Angels forced their way into Gladiator territory, the fiery attack that followed, how police stepped in with urgent public safety orders, what patching over means in bikie culture, and why this violent power shift could reshape the Hunter Valley's criminal landscape. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this clash matters, not just to the groups involved, but to the future of organized crime in New South Wales. Who are the Gladiators? The Gladiators are no newcomers to Australia's outlaw motorcycle world. They first came together in the early 1960s, making them one of the country's longest-running clubs. Their spiritual home has always been Maitland, but over the decades, they've built a footprint that reached Newcastle, Grafton, and Gunnedah. At the heart of their history sits their clubhouse on Portland Street in Horseshoe Bend, a location they've held for more than 30 years. This site isn't just a meeting place, it's a symbol of their identity, which is why this recent clash hit so hard. Unlike some of the bigger, more aggressive clubs, the Gladiators have typically kept a lower profile, staying out of major public conflicts. That quieter reputation is exactly why the Hells Angels' sudden move shocked not just Maitland, but the entire Hunter region, signaling a dramatic shift no one expected. The takeover. What happened? The takeover happened fast and with intimidating force. Reports say that around 50 Hells Angels, many of them masked and carrying weapons, stormed the Gladiators Clubhouse in Maitland. In a matter of moments, they seized control of a place the Gladiators had ruled for decades. Once inside, the Hells Angels didn't just take the building. They went after the membership itself. Some Gladiators were given a choice: patch over and join the Hells Angels, or walk away. A few switched allegiance, while others were pushed out entirely, leaving the club fractured and vulnerable. According to sources connected to the underworld, this wasn't a random act of violence. It was part of a calculated expansion plan, with talk of creating a new Hunter crew based in Maitland to strengthen the Hells Angels' presence in the region. Coverage on YouTube and local media has framed this as a major power move, one that could completely change the balance of control in the Hunter Valley's outlaw motorcycle scene. The immediate fallout: fire at the clubhouse. Only days after the hostile takeover, Maitland was rocked again, this time by flames and chaos. In the early hours of the morning, a burning car was deliberately driven into the gates and outer shed of the Gladiators' historic clubhouse at Portland Street, Horseshoe Bend. Witnesses described a terrifying scene as smoke poured into the air, lighting up the quiet streets of this normally calm neighborhood. Police immediately treated the blaze as suspicious, investigating it as a possible retaliatory strike following the Hells Angels takeover. This wasn't just a random act of vandalism, it was calculated, a clear message meant to escalate tensions even further. Adding to the mystery, one man was rushed to the hospital after the fire and placed under police guard, signaling that investigators believed he was deeply connected to the attack. There were also reports of gunfire in the area, though police were careful not to confirm anything publicly, saying they were actively investigating those claims. This left the community uneasy, wondering whether the situation was far more dangerous than anyone realized. The blaze didn't destroy the clubhouse completely, but it sent a clear warning. The fight for control of the Gladiators' home was far from over. This act turned a regional turf war into a public safety crisis, forcing police to tighten their grip on Maitland. Suddenly, the quiet Hunter town found itself at the center of a high-stakes underworld conflict, and everyone knew things could get even worse if police didn't act fast. Police response: Raptor Squad's pressure valve. As tensions boiled over in Maitland, police knew they had to act immediately to prevent the situation from spiraling into an all-out war. Within hours of the fiery attack, Raptor Squad North, New South Wales' elite anti-bikie task force, swooped in. These are the officers trained to deal with the most violent outlaw motorcycle gangs, and when they arrive, it's a sign that the situation is considered extremely dangerous. Their first move was to issue 27 public safety orders, known as PSOS. These orders temporarily banned both the Hells Angels and the Gladiators from stepping foot near the Maitland Clubhouse, or gathering in key locations for a 72-hour period. This wasn't just about keeping rival groups apart. It was a strategic maneuver to freeze all movement, stopping meetings, planning sessions, or retaliatory strikes before they could even begin. PSOS are used only when there's a serious and immediate risk to life or property. By enforcing them here, police sent a loud message. No one would control Maitland through fear and violence while investigations were underway. It was a pressure valve designed to calm the situation before it exploded into wider bloodshed. For locals, the sudden police presence was both reassuring and alarming. It meant that authorities were watching every move, but it also confirmed just how volatile the feud had become. Behind the scenes, detectives were working around the clock, piecing together who orchestrated the takeover, who carried out the fiery attack, and who might strike next. With the 72-hour orders in place, Maitland entered a fragile pause, but everyone knew this was only a temporary solution. Once the clock ran out, the question remained: would the bikie back down or come back even stronger? Patterns beyond Maitland. Context without speculation. The dramatic events in Maitland didn't happen in isolation. They are part of a bigger pattern unfolding across New South Wales and beyond. Earlier in 2025, police had already been tracking and targeting Hells Angels activity as part of a broader crackdown on organized motorcycle gangs. In a joint operation, the NSW Raptor Squad teamed up with the ACT Police, carrying out a series of coordinated searches, issuing heavy fines, and laying multiple charges against individuals connected to the club. This wasn't a small local action. It was a statewide push, aimed at disrupting the gang's structure and cutting off its ability to expand unchecked. These earlier raids revealed just how closely law enforcement has been monitoring OMCGS and their movements. For police, the Maitland incident wasn't a surprise out of nowhere. It was another flashpoint in a series of escalating tensions they'd been watching for months. This is why authorities reacted so quickly and decisively when the Hells Angels stormed the Gladiators Clubhouse. They had seen similar patterns before: a show of force by a powerful club, followed by retaliation, chaos, and public danger. By stepping in fast with public safety orders and visible Raptor Squad patrols, police weren't just responding to Maitland. They were sending a warning to every other outlaw club in the state. The message was clear: New South Wales will not allow violent takeovers to spiral into a wider war. And any group attempting to expand through fear and intimidation will face immediate pressure from multiple agencies. Maitland, as explosive as it was, is only one part of this larger chess game between law enforcement and organized bikie networks. The Hunter region stakes Maitland isn't just another small town. It sits at the heart of the Hunter Valley, one of New South Wales's most important regions. For outlaw motorcycle gangs, this area holds huge strategic value. Its central location connects major routes leading to Newcastle, Sydney, and northern NSW, making it a perfect hub for movement, logistics, and influence. The Gladiators understood this decades ago, which is why they made Maitland their spiritual home. Their clubhouse at Horseshoe Bend wasn't just a meeting place. It symbolized their long-standing control over the region. Losing it isn't just about one building. It represents a shift in dominance over a crucial part of the Hunter. For the Hells Angels, seizing this territory opens the door to massive expansion. Reports have already surfaced about plans to establish a dedicated Hunter crew operating out of Maitland. This wouldn't just be a symbolic win. It would give the Hells Angels a permanent foothold alongside their existing presence in Newcastle, effectively tightening their grip on the entire Hunter Valley. Control over this region means more than reputation. It brings resources, recruitment opportunities, and the ability to move operations more freely without constantly crossing into rival territory. For law enforcement, that's deeply concerning, as it could escalate conflicts and make policing far more complex. The fight for Maitland is really a fight for the future of the Hunter Valley. Whoever dominates here doesn't just gain power locally, they gain a launching pad to influence the broader landscape of organized crime across New South Wales. That's why this takeover has become a critical turning point, watched closely by both rival clubs and police. What authorities are watching for. After a flashpoint like Maitland, police move fast and think in layers: stabilize, contain, disrupt. The first lever is legal and visible: public safety orders. In Maitland, 27 PSOs shut both clubs out of the hotspot for 72 hours, a freeze designed to stop meetings, scouting runs, and quick revenge. It buys detectives time, pressures leadership, and signals zero tolerance for public violence while the casework ramps up. Next, investigators watch the 24 to 72-hour window where payback often lands. High on the risk board, retaliatory arsons, drive-by damage, and quick-strike assaults away from cameras. Maitland already saw a car driven in and torched at the clubhouse, treated as suspicious from the start, with one man hospitalized under police guard as inquiries continued. Incidents like that spike patrols, widen cordons, and trigger rapid evidence sweeps for accelerants, communications, and vehicles tied to known associates. Beyond the first days, pressure shifts to mobility and compliance. Raptor teams stack bail checks, firearm prohibition order, FPO, compliance checks, consorting warnings, and targeted traffic stops to stress logistics and seize leverage. Recent Raptor activity shows the pattern: multi-site FPO checks, seizures, and charges on parallel OMCG operations. Tactics meant to choke movement and raise the cost of gathering or carrying prohibited items. The paperwork sounds dry, the impact isn't. It fragments planning and keeps high-risk actors busy with court dates instead of meetups. Finally, police watch mass gatherings, clubhouse meets, runs, or regional link-ups, because one large roll-in can flip a tense stalemate into a cascade of incidents. Earlier in 2025, a joint NSW-CT operation showed how coordinated checkpoints, searches, and defects lists shadow OMCG convoys and sap momentum. In Maitland, expect the same playbook: PSOs for the flashpoint, then roaming patrols, highway stops, and sustained detective work while reports of gunfire and other claims are tested against evidence. The goal isn't just calm today, it's denying the platform for the next act. What we can say, firmly, right now. Here's what is confirmed and verified at this point in time. The Hells Angels launched a hostile takeover of the Gladiators Clubhouse in Maitland, a location that had been under Gladiator control for over 3 decades. Days later, a suspicious fire erupted when a burning car was driven into the property, with one man hospitalized under police guard as part of the investigation. In response, the Raptor Squad issued 27 public safety orders, temporarily banning both groups from the site to prevent further violence. There are also credible reports of plans to form a hunter crew, signaling a potential long-term expansion of the Hells Angels' presence in the region. These facts come directly from police statements and leading news outlets. However, it's important to separate confirmed information from speculation. Claims of exact numbers involved in the takeover or reports of gunfire are still under investigation and come mainly from anonymous or underworld sources. Until authorities release hard evidence, those details remain unverified and should be treated with caution. This ensures the focus stays on documented facts, not rumors or hearsay. The bigger picture. The events in Maitland are about more than just one clubhouse or 2 rival motorcycle clubs. This situation shows how symbolic real estate, a clubhouse with decades of history, can become the spark for major escalation in the outlaw motorcycle world. Bikie culture, territory is about far more than a physical space. It represents identity, power, and dominance. When that space is taken, especially through a hostile move like this, it sends shockwaves that can reverberate across entire regions. For law enforcement, Maitland has become a test case. It demonstrates how quickly tensions can rise and why police must respond with speed and precision. The issuing of public safety orders, the deployment of Raptor Squad units, and the visible police presence are all part of a carefully designed strategy to contain the conflict before it spreads to other towns or ignites further retaliation. The immediate goal is social stability, keeping the streets safe for the community while simultaneously dismantling the networks that fuel this kind of violence. Authorities know that if Maitland's situation spirals out of control, it could set off a chain reaction across the Hunter Valley and even beyond. This is why every step is being watched so closely. Maitland isn't just about the Gladiators or the Hells Angels. It's a blueprint for how future clashes over territory and power might play out, and how police will step in to prevent them from turning into a full-scale regional war. By acting decisively here, they're not only protecting Maitland, they're sending a clear message across New South Wales that violent takeovers will not be allowed to dictate the balance of power. Payoff. The Gladiators' decades-old stronghold has fallen, and Maitland now sits under a relentless police spotlight. What began as a hostile takeover by the Hells Angels has become a fight for the very future of the Hunter Valley's underworld. As authorities tighten their grip with public safety orders and increased patrols, one question remains. Will these measures bring lasting peace, or just delay the next eruption of violence? Tell us what you think in the comments. Can PSOs truly stop the cycle of retaliation, or are they just a temporary bandage on a deep, dangerous wound?